Haaland, 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 Haaland. Life's about a dream. Lives is about a dream for Norway, who kind of played a little bit weird against France, leaving so many players out in the World Cup last game of the group stages, so that they can have everybody fresh today. Whether that paid off or not, that will be for you guys to decide in the comments. Guys, we're going to comment on this game. Please hit the like button. That helps out of town to grow this channel. And always let me know in the comments, how do you feel about Mr. Haaland, that has now twice as many goals than Cristiano Ronaldo in knockout stages? Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo, 0. Mr. Haaland, Erling Haaland, 1. That's right. Cristiano Ronaldo, by the way, 6 World Cups. He scored in every World Cup, but somehow, some way, he hasn't found a way to score in the knockout stages. I don't know. Make of that what you will, but this is all about Norway and how this was such a beautiful game that we just watched between Ivory Coast and Norway. To be honest with you, man, we've gotten a lot of teams that just parked the bus. A lot of teams that have played haram ball, or whatever you want to say, park the bus, haram ball, however you want to say it, bro. But honestly, you appreciate games like this once you watch, for example, right? Paraguay playing haram ball against Germany. It worked out for them. The Netherlands, they were pathetic. Ronald Koeman, what were you doing? What were you thinking, bro? With the kind of roster that you have, you're playing defensively and leaving. You're basically leaving oceans, just not oceans of space, but you're leaving the ball to your opposition in Morocco, who ultimately just wanted this game a lot more. They had like 70%, 75% of the possession. That's too much. This team almost worked out for them. They were winning this game 1-0. The Gapco scored a goal, and then it was tough. It just simplifies the game way too much, because you can see other teams just sending crosses into the box, trying to break down those blocks, and that's how Morocco did it. Just send out a great cross, and it was a nice header, and Morocco tied the game, and they won it in the penalty kicks. It didn't work out. But when you see teams like the Ivory Coast of the world, when you see the Norways of the world, when both teams are attacking sides, I knew this game was going to be fireworks, man. The only thing this game was missing was probably a 3-2 instead of a 2-1. But what my takeaway from watching these two teams is, they face each other way too early, man. At least if they would have faced each other in the following stages around the 16, you will get it. But the round of 32, it's so disappointing, bro. One of the things that I can say that I stand out for me from Ivory Coast coming into this World Cup, I knew their firepower. I knew the Diamondes, right? I knew the Pepes of the world. I knew, well, you know, we all saw the, yeah, Diallo, the Amad Diallo, the kid who scored a goal. We all know the kid from Manchester United. I knew their offensive power. But what I was surprised about this side in this World Cup was how good defensively they were. I thought coming into this World Cup, they were not the best in the qualifiers. They were not the best defensively. They tightened up some knots, and they were pretty great defensively, to be honest. I mean, Norway comes into this team. Haaland has now more goals than games played with Norway. Which is insane. Norway had been scoring upwards of 5 goals in every game in the competition, man. And they were facing tough teams as well in the qualifiers. So to be able to hold Norway to 2 goals, I thought that was pretty impressive. Now, Norway does have some questions, but I do want to mention a lot in the beginning of this video about just Ivory Coast and all African teams, man. They're so underrated in this competition. It seems to me that we haven't been giving them all the credit that they deserve. Today they played unbelievable, man. In some stretches when they were down 1-0, it was Antonio Nusa that we have to just mention him, because it was an unbelievable goal, man. I think that was what's his name? Berg was the one who gave him a pass down the seam, and he cut outside the box, and puts it on the top right corner, man. That was unbelievable, man. That was a golazo, bro. Like, a lot of fans on this channel, Barca fans on this channel, they mentioned Antonio Nusa that we should go out and sign him. And I started looking into him, and he looks like a great player, man. He's so good on the ball. His technique is beautiful. He took just a nice banger into the back of that net, man. And it's got me wondering, what do you guys think, man? Should we have signed him? Because I think he was even cheaper than Gordon, but I don't know. Transfer market has him at like 40 to 50, but the World Cup tax and all that. And realistically, with a lot of teams wanting him, it's probably going to cost you like 80 million. So it's a push between him and Gordon. The problem is what Hansi Flick wants, right? That's the thing. But in terms of you, let me know in the comments if you think that Barcelona should have gone after Antonio Nusa instead of Anthony Gordon. Let me know. But the truth of the matter is that was a 1-0 game, right? And throughout the entire match, Ivory Coast kept trying, they kept trying, but they just don't have a finisher. I mean, they do have Bonnie, right? They have Diomande, they have Pepe. Pepe was the one who had the assist. But it was Amad Diallo who actually for 1 minute there, he was I think was Neil who tweeted this out. Like he almost reminded him of Messi for like a split second because he was just that kind of play, right? Down the right side, cutting inside, in between, goes in between two players and finish it into the back of the net with the left foot. That was a beautiful, beautiful finish, so well deserved up until that point in the 74th minute. My only concern for Norway, because like I said, Haaland does get neutralized in this type of games, and that's what was my concern. That was kind of my takeaway at the end of that match until he shot me up in the 86th minute and scored the 2-1 winner. But I didn't think Haaland had a particularly good game. He didn't have a lot of chances. I don't know how many shots he took on goal, and I just didn't see him taking enough shots, enough chances. He did have a couple headers that didn't have a prayer. But my problem with Haaland for these knockout games is always seems to get hard matchups between the defenders. He really can't seem to become that kind of problem that you need to be. It reminds me a game again from Jokeres against Atletico Madrid, where Jokeres was just such a big problem. He didn't score, but it was just a big problem for those CBs the entire match, making runs, being physical. And I just feel like I'm missing that from Haaland from a lot of games that are knockout stages. But I was happy to see him score because, dude, I had a parlay worth like $50 into 500, and it was Haaland anytime to score, Norway to win, Mbappe anytime to score, France to win, and I need Mexico to win as well. So I know it's not going to be easy, but I was happy to see Haaland score at the end of the match. It was literally a tap in that I didn't even think he had a great finish on it, because that was a beautiful play from Odegaard, taking players inside the box and makes the cross a little bit late and a little bit behind. And Haaland seems like he's trying to control the ball, takes a heavy touch, and it ends up going to the back of the net. And hey, man, Norway, no, kudos to them. Congratulations. They're probably the better side. They had major problems on the fullbacks, in my opinion. I think Pepe, Diamond, just they were just creating so many problems and so many chances for Ivory Coast. And for a minute, when they tied the game, it looked like they were going to win this game. And they created enough chances, but they just don't have a finisher, and they just couldn't finish. I think Nilan had a very good save from Diallo on a there was a foul, there was a free kick, and it was a set piece, right? So he takes a big shot, and it was going up to the top right corner, but it was not quite in the corner. So Nilan was able to get to it, and it was a great save, and everybody congratulated him. And then they ended up winning this game with a 2-1. Congratulations to Norway. I think if you're Ivory Coast, you gotta be proud, man. You gotta be proud. Sometimes that's the problem with having the run of 32. Sometimes you have two great teams going up against each other, bro. And it's just luck of the draw, in my opinion. But guys, I'm enjoying this World Cup, man. I thought this game was an absolute cinema. It's two offensive teams trying to win this game rather than trying to take this to overtime and penalties. I just really hate it. I'm like, dude, why is this game going to overtime when these were two attacking sides? We cannot have that, dude. And I was happy to see that Norway was able to get over the hump, over the line against Ivory Coast. I just wanted one team to win, honestly. I wasn't really rooting for overtime because of that reason. I think these are two offensive sides, and one of them deserved to win, and I was just happy to see them win. But if now we get Norway against Brazil, right? And then on the other side, where it's basically what Paraguay. There was another interesting one. It's basically Paraguay waiting for France. Um, yeah, I don't know how interesting that will be. Morocco, Canada won't be that interested either. But nowhere against Brazil, bro. Haaland going up Vinicius Jr. once again, bro. It's gonna be this is gonna be. I might do a preview on that one. See, as we get closer, I might just do extra videos. But I need you guys to support. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Hype it up. There's after you like a video, it asks you to hype it up right on that same bar. So guys, please help me out. That goes a long way, man. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hey, stay tuned. I might drop a video on France depending on how it goes, but I'm definitely going to be dropping a video after Mexico. Let me know in the comments if you want me to go live after the Mexico game. I might just do that, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.